They poisoned my lake to stop me from fishing. Sounds insane, right? I thought so too. Until that morning I stepped out like I'd done 1,000 times before, coffee in hand, and saw, no joke, hundreds of dead fish floating belly up, the water this sick, blue-green color, stinking so bad of chemicals it made my eyes water. It was like a horror movie, only it was real, and it was mine. See, I built this lake with my own hands. Every shovel of dirt, every drop of water, 10 years of labor wiped out in one night. And whoever did it, thinking they could just shut me up, clearly didn't understand one thing. That lake was the heart of our whole community. The same water they poisoned is what kept everyone here alive. You want to know what happened next? So do I. Because the truth is, nobody really expects their life to turn into a slow-burn thriller, but mine sure did. 3 months before that nightmare, things were almost peaceful. I was standing right there by the lake, sunrise painting everything gold, and for a second, I actually believed I'd found my rhythm again. My name's Ethan Mercer, by the way. This lake behind my cabin, it's not just some backyard hobby or midlife crisis. It's my memorial to Sarah, my wife, who I lost 5 years ago. Cancer, courtesy of an industrial polluter that covered its tracks until it was too late. When she died, I left my job as an environmental engineer, moved to Pine Ridge, and started building the place she always dreamed of retiring to. What started as a muddy pit became a thriving lake, supplying water during droughts, giving kids a place to learn to fish, letting old couples stroll at sunset. That lake was where I felt closest to Sarah, and it was the unofficial heart of this whole little community. I had every permit, every environmental report, 15 years worth. This wasn't some backwoods science experiment. It was a real, working piece of infrastructure that kept gardens green when the municipal supply dried up. But, you know how it goes. Not everyone likes seeing something that works right in front of them. So, that Tuesday in September, I'm buried in architectural plans for a client when I hear gravel crunching outside. I look up and there she is, Vera Langston. Gray suit, black BMW, leather portfolio, the new HOA president. She's maybe 38, sharp-featured, looks like someone who's used to getting her way. Word was, she'd been a hotshot real estate attorney before deciding HOA politics was her new thing. Mr. Mercer, she says, all courtroom authority, I'm here about concerns regarding your lake. She pulls out a manila folder like it's evidence of a federal crime. We've received an anonymous complaint alleging you're operating an unlicensed fish farm contaminating groundwater. The way she said unlicensed fish farm, you'd think I was running a meth lab. I just pointed her to the leather chairs in my office and started stacking up paperwork. Permits, impact reports, water tests. This isn't a fish farm. It's a private, compliant lake. Here's everything from the state, environmental assessments, water quality for a decade. Every fish in there is legal, and the filtration system I built actually makes the water cleaner. She barely glanced at the papers. She was just fishing, no pun intended, for anything to criticize. Then she starts in about new HOA regulations, hinting at stricter guidelines for private water features, potential property value impacts, community safety, that sort of thing. I'd been an engineer too long to miss the signals. This wasn't about rules or safety. It was about control. Let me see those regulations in writing, I told her, and I'd love to know who filed this so-called complaint. Her jaw twitched. Regulations are still being finalized, and complaints are confidential. Classic power move, right? I'm just here to inform you changes are coming. It would be wise to consider your options. She hands me this business card so heavy it probably cost more than my monthly electric bill, smiles that fake lawyer smile, and leaves. After she left, I walked down to the lake, watched the fish catch insects in the dusk, and felt that weight in my chest, the one that comes whenever Sarah's memory feels threatened. Someone wanted to take this place away, and I was pretty sure I knew who. But I've fought corporations before. I wasn't going to fold to a neighborhood HOA with delusions of grandeur. That night, someone slipped a letter under my door, ransom note style, cut from magazines, stop the fish or face the consequences. 72 hours. They thought they were being clever, but whoever made it was left-handed, and the paper came from a pricey magazine. Not exactly criminal mastermind stuff. A week later, I took that letter to my old friend Michael Grant, a forensic specialist at the university. He'd helped me nail the company that killed Sarah. Ethan, this is amateur hour, he said, showing me fingerprints on the tape, left-handed cut marks, paper from Architectural Digest. The kicker? Prints matched Vera Langston's business license. But Michael found something even bigger. Her old law firm had defended the very company that killed Sarah. This was personal. She was finishing what her old firm started, and now she was targeting the one thing I'd built to remember Sarah by. I started fighting back, but quietly. Installed hidden cameras, told neighbors I was giving up, acted defeated so Vera would get cocky. She started driving by, spreading rumors, meeting with a well-dressed man in the community center lot. One day, I caught them reviewing survey maps. He hands her a briefcase, drives off in a silver Mercedes with out-of-state plates. I knew then, this wasn't just HOA politics. My lake was in the way of something much, much bigger. One night, my cameras caught a dark SUV pulling up to the lake. 3 people in maintenance uniforms spent 20 minutes taking soil and water samples, using pro gear, and when they finished, the tallest one, Vera, looked straight at my cabin and waved. That's when I knew it was going to get ugly. And then the poisoning. That morning, the silence hit me first. No birds, no wind, just stillness. Then the smell, and the sight of all those dead fish. My sanctuary destroyed, and suddenly the stakes weren't just personal anymore. I called 911, snapped photos, kicked into engineer mode, even though my hands were shaking. Within half an hour, paramedics and hazmat teams were everywhere. Dr. Janet Mills, our local ER doc, took one look and said, "This is chemical poisoning on a massive scale." The water was contaminated with a restricted pesticide, diflubenzurin. Not an accident, deliberate sabotage. Then I remembered Mrs. Thompson and her granddaughter Emma, who sometimes used water from my lake. I called her. She sounded weak. "We're both sick. Ethan, could you drive us to the doctor?" The ambulances got there fast, but seeing an 8-year-old put on a stretcher because of this hit me like a gut punch. That's when the rage started, deep and cold, like when I lost Sarah. An hour later, Vera's black BMW screeched into the hospital lot. She was frantic. Her own son Jake had been swimming in my lake the day before and now was violently ill. I watched her through the glass, desperate and crying, and the irony nearly floored me. She'd poisoned her own kid trying to destroy my lake. That night, as environmental teams locked down my property, my cameras gave me the final piece. Footage of 3 people, Vera and 2 accomplices, pouring chemicals into my lake. Clear as day. But just as I started uploading the evidence to a cloud drive, I got a call. Voice distorted, the message was clear. "If you don't want more people to die, stop your investigation now. Next time it won't just be fish." 1 week later, a city IT guy named Kevin Walsh contacted me with a manila envelope full of printed emails. Sterling, the man from the Mercedes, wasn't just any developer. He had plans to turn our lake into a $48 million luxury spa, and Vera was set to triple her money if the lake went away. There were payment receipts to city officials, proof of a conspiracy so wide it took my breath away. And the chemical attack? Planned down to the hour to justify an emergency closure. The Thompsons' medical bills alone would bankrupt them. That was the plan: force families out, buy up their homes cheap. I tried calling a big-name lawyer, but Sterling had already paid her off. Finally, I found William Hayes, a bulldog of a public interest attorney, who laid it out. "This is a classic land grab. They're counting on you folding." But then, a twist, Vera herself reached out. Sterling had kidnapped her son Jake, threatened to kill him if she didn't sign over the lake deed. She had everything: recordings, receipts, evidence. We met in a cheap diner, both looking wrecked. She handed over the files, said she'd been working with the FBI, wearing a wire for months. The poisoning was supposed to be staged, harmless dye, not real toxins. Sterling had switched chemicals at the last minute. Now the FBI wanted to move, but if they did it too soon, the whole operation would scatter. Williams suggested a crazy plan. Let Vera deliver me and some fake evidence instead of the deed. Use me as bait. Let the FBI catch Sterling in the act. We set the trap at the community HOA meeting, Channel 7 cameras everywhere, the whole town on edge. Sterling rolled out his plans, but then Mark Delano, the environmental inspector, stood up and played tapes, recordings of Sterling arranging bribes, discussing the poisoning as business expense. Dr. Mills followed with the medical evidence, linking the poisoning here to Sterling's other projects in 3 states. Then, Jake, rescued by the FBI, walked in, told the crowd everything. Sterling's mask cracked, FBI badges flashed, and just like that, the whole scheme unraveled. Vera confessed, publicly, tears streaming, admitting everything. How Sterling blackmailed her, how she helped hurt her own neighbors, how she tried to make it right. William announced a class action suit. Sterling was led away in cuffs, and for the first time in months, it felt like justice might actually win for once. 6 months later, the lake's been reborn, fish thriving, water clearer than ever. The state designated it a natural preserve, and the settlement from Sterling's assets paid every victim's medical bills, set up college funds, rebuilt what he tried to destroy. Vera avoided jail by working with the EPA, helping other communities fight back. Jake got a scholarship to study environmental law. He wants to be the kind of lawyer who stops people like Sterling, not enables them. Me? I help other neighborhoods protect their water, using every lesson Sarah's loss taught me. And our little lake, the one built for her, has become a sanctuary for everyone who fought to save it. Some days, I stand at the edge, watching the sun rise, and think about how far we've come, and how much further we all have to go to keep what matters safe. Now, if you've ever found yourself up against the powerful, or just want to weigh in on what's right and wrong in a world where money talks and the rest of us fight for scraps, drop your thoughts below. Did we get justice? Or was it just a rare win in a rigged game? Who decides what's fair when the stakes are this high? I want to hear what you think, because stories like this, well, they only matter if we talk about them.